Good morning, everyone. We're going to do a little thought for the day here. It's a guidepost along your journey. And if you don't like this one, go and find one of your own. But this is based on an article that's in a book that I'm publishing on the 14th of February called Love. And this article that I wrote probably about 8 years ago now is called The Magic of Love. And it's based around something that Leo Buscaglia said. And my screen went off at that point. Love is life, and if you miss love, you miss life. Leo Buscaglia says, love is life, and if you miss love, you miss life. So I've called my article, inspirational article that I wrote, The Magic of Love. Life is filled with ups and downs. Bad things happen to good people, and other statements like these suggest that we are powerless to affect our own outcomes. They suggest that life is something that happens to us, but life is something we create by all we say, do, think, and feel. My question today is, what do you give out? What kind of things do you say? Are they positive or negative? What kind of things do you do? Are they actions of a lover of your own life and vitality? A lover of those who you know and care for, a lover of the people of this world and the environment? How are your thoughts today? Are you applying stinking thinking and expecting the worst? Or are you sure that all things wise and wonderful are coming your way? Are your feelings based on love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, and self-control? Or are they based on fear, self-loathing, hatred, anger, and the like? If you accept that life only gives you back what you first give outwards, then wouldn't it make sense to spread love everywhere you go, by the words you speak, the actions you take, the thoughts you think, and the feelings you accept in your heart, and to turn away from every opportunity to be negative. So it's probably read better at the end than at the beginning. I always feel like I'm doing a performance. You know, I'm reading something from the Bible or something. I don't know, and I'm doing that. By the end of what we're talking about, it makes a lot more sense. So, like what I do now with the poetry that I've been using is I just look at what it says on the page and then say something about it. So life's filled with ups and downs. Everybody says that, don't they? Bad things happen to good people, but that suggests that you're powerless to do anything about it. And if it's true what I've just said, that what you sow, you reap. I mean, it's the words of Jesus that he said, what you sow, you reap. Whatever if you cast out your bread on the waters, it comes back to you after many days. I always say it comes back to you soggy. But if you're giving out in a positive way, if you're giving out from a place of love in your heart, then obviously that's what comes back. The world is our mirror. What we give out, we receive. That's the law of attraction. But as I say, it's something that Jesus said, what you sow, you reap. So if you want to live in a loving world, then it would help if you started to be a little bit more loving than you have been up to now, if things aren't going your way. That seems like I'm casting judgment on people that don't send out their love. I'm just trying to bang a big drum to say, why not be more loving? Wouldn't the world be a better place if we were all a bit more loving, a little bit more concerned about each other? And I'm sure this is something that the Way stands for, isn't it, Catherine?
It sure is. It sure is, yeah. And when I was listening to you, Andrew, I got I can imagine people saying like, "Oh, it's all right for you, you know, this isn't happening in my life, and this isn't, you know, this is going on in my life," and it made me think like sort of about the social conditioning that we're subject to, and yeah, people like sort of, it's okay to feel like they do. It's okay to feel like nothing goes right, because it's conditioning that we're subject to from the minute that we're born. And it's in recognizing that you take the power away from it. So once you recognize it and you take the power away, you can perhaps like sort of then begin to come from a different place. And that is when you can it's like realizing that no one wants ill for anybody, and ultimately, and then ask yourself, why is this pushed onto us? Why is it pushed onto us to think against other people and to be selfish for one thing, and not think of the other person? So yeah, that's what today's like sort of little talk brought up for me. And yeah, why not stand into that energy of love? And even when you feel that you know, like sort of, oh, not the way is about like when you step into the energy that the people who are coming together bring, you can't help but just feel that energy. And regardless of what's going on in your life, it still seeps in. And then bit by bit you understand on a physical level what's going on energetically. And so it's always important to sort of come from the heart.
If the conditioning has been taking you in the opposite direction to the one that best serves you, then it makes sense that as someone turns around, becomes enlightened, becomes someone who's not wanting to go the way of the crowd, the lemmings off the cliff, but wanting to forge their own way in this life, that it's going to take a while for them to come round from where they were, even if they have that understanding, oh, right, so I need to start being a more loving person so that I can live in a loving world. It's difficult to do that if all you've ever known is blaming somebody else, the blame game. If anything goes wrong in your life, it's always somebody else's fault. It's so difficult for you to turn it round. But like you said, with the meetings that we've had on Zoom, with the way that the actual the people who have been in those meetings have got, I like to think that I've got a good energy around me, but some of the people in there, wow, I'm totally in awe of them, because they exude love. That's really what it is about them. And they have turned their lives around, and they are walking towards the light instead of the darkness of its all woe and horribleness that's going off in the world. And if you want to focus on some of the mindless things, I think they're mindless anyway, that are happening, then of course it's going to pull you down. But if you get together within a community of love, where people are actually exuding this this beautiful energy, and you feel, if you just sit, you don't even, the first few meetings that I was involved in, I just sat there, I didn't say anything, because I was just in awe of this wonderful feeling of just being in this Zoom room, admittedly, but I was in this room with people who, their energy, the oscillation of their vibration, or whatever you want to call it, their love, was just so beautiful. It's like, I think I said on a couple of occasions, because all the meetings are recorded, that this is just the most beautiful place I've ever been, or some word to that effect. So the way, the community, the online community, the way, is one of many, I'm sure, but I know for a fact, because we've been there and experienced this, that it's a really wonderful place to be if you're trying to turn your life around, if you're trying to be somebody who starts seeing things differently, if you don't want to live in this world of quiet desperation, then you do a lot worse than to get involved with a group of people who share love from their heart every time they open their mouth. It's such a beautiful thing to see. And of course, each of them have got different talents that they're bringing to the group to be able to help us to move forward together. And there's strength in numbers. So I suppose it wasn't supposed to be an advert for the Way, but it is.
It's turned in because it's from the love.
Because it's love, you see. And the book that I'm bringing out on the 14th of February is just called Love. And it's all the different shades of meaning of that word. I think in Greek, there's something like 7 or 8 different words for love. We only have one in English, which seems a bit strange because we've got 650,000 words in the English language, if you look at the Oxford Dictionary. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to read this article again, and then I'm going to end the broadcast. So it's called The Magic of Love, and it's based on the apostle of love's words, Leo Buscaglia. He said, love is life. And if you miss love, you miss life. And these are the words that I wrote to try and explain what I understood by what Leo was saying. Life is filled with ups and downs. Bad things happen to good people. And other statements like these suggest that we're powerless to affect our own outcomes. They suggest that life is something that happens to us, but life is something we create by all we say, do, think, and feel. My question today is, what do you give out? What kind of things do you say? Are they positive or negative? What kind of things do you do? Are they the actions of a lover of your own life and vitality? A lover of those who you know and care for? A lover of the people of this world and the environment? How are your thoughts today? Are you applying stinking thinking and expecting the worst? Or are you sure that all things wise and wonderful are coming your way? Are your feelings based on love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, and self-control? Or are they based on fear, self-loathing, hatred, anger, and the like? If you accept that life only gives you back what you first give outwards, then wouldn't it make sense to spread love everywhere you go? By the words you speak, the actions you take, the thoughts you think, and the feelings you accept in your heart, and to turn away from every opportunity to be negative. Namaste.